The psychology of men is often misunderstood. From the outside, it can look like emotional distance, like silence, like shutting down, and it's easy to assume that means a lack of depth. But what if it's the opposite? What if much of what people misread as emotional absence is actually emotional control? What if the quiet isn't emptiness, but protection? Psychology shows that many men are conditioned early to manage emotions privately. From childhood, boys are often rewarded for staying composed and discouraged from showing vulnerability. Over time, the brain adapts. It learns that expressing certain emotions can lead to embarrassment, rejection, or loss of respect. So instead of expressing feelings outwardly, many men learn to process them internally. This isn't about not feeling. It's about feeling carefully. Research indicates that emotional suppression in men isn't about incapability. It's about social conditioning. The nervous system learns that staying steady equals safety. So when something painful happens, instead of talking it through immediately, many men go quiet. They think. They analyze. They stabilize. From the outside, that quiet can look like indifference. But internally, there's often a lot happening. It's just being managed privately. Another psychological insight is that many men associate self-worth with competence. Studies on identity development suggest that men are more likely to tie their value to performance, being useful, capable, dependable. So when emotions arise that feel messy or uncertain, they can feel threatening to that identity. Instead of saying, "I feel overwhelmed," the instinct might be, "How do I fix this?" Action becomes a coping strategy. Problem-solving becomes emotional regulation. When something goes wrong, many men don't want to talk about how stressful it feels. They want to solve it, because solving it restores control, and control reduces anxiety. That's not emotional avoidance. That's emotional management. Psychology also shows that men often experience connection differently. While some people bond through verbal emotional sharing, many men bond through shared activity. Doing something side by side, working on a project, driving together, watching a game, training at the gym. Research on social bonding suggests that shared experiences can create deep connection without direct emotional disclosure. So a man might not say, "I appreciate you," often, but he'll show up consistently. He'll fix things. He'll remember details. He'll protect. He'll provide stability. For him, that is expression. It just doesn't always look like words. Another important insight is how the nervous system responds under stress. When emotions intensify, some people lean in and talk more. Others withdraw to regulate. Many men fall into the second category. Silence becomes a way to calm the system. Think about arguments in relationships. One partner wants immediate discussion. The other goes quiet. That quiet isn't always avoidance. It can be processing. It can be an attempt to prevent escalation. Psychology shows that withdrawing during conflict can be a stress response. The body senses overload and moves inward to regain balance. And here's something most people don't realize. Emotional restraint can actually be a strength. It allows many men to remain steady during crises, to function under pressure, to absorb stress without reacting impulsively. That steadiness can make others feel safe. But strength can also be misunderstood, because while emotional containment protects stability, it can sometimes create distance. If someone rarely verbalizes what they feel, others may assume there's nothing there. But often there's depth, there's loyalty, there's care. It's just filtered. As men grow older, these patterns often evolve. The same independence that felt empowering in early adulthood can sometimes start to feel isolating later. The brain doesn't suddenly abandon old strategies. It updates them slowly. What once protected you may begin to feel heavy. Not because it was wrong, but because life changes. Relationships deepen. Emotional needs shift. And here's the key truth. None of this means men are emotionally incapable. Psychology consistently shows that men experience the same range of emotions as women. The difference lies more in expression than in depth. Much of male behavior is shaped by early conditioning that taught emotions should be managed privately, not expressed openly. What looks like emotional distance is often a learned way to stay safe, respected, and in control. And once you understand that, the behavior starts to make sense. So if you recognize yourself in this, the quiet processing, the instinct to handle things alone, the focus on solutions over discussion, there's nothing wrong with you. You adapted. You learned what worked. You developed strengths that helped you navigate the world. Understanding the psychology behind these patterns isn't about changing who you are. It's about removing the shame from how you've learned to cope. Because when behavior makes sense, self-judgment softens. And when self-judgment softens, understanding grows. If this perspective helped you see yourself, or the men in your life, a little more clearly, subscribe for more psychology insights that help you understand personality patterns in a deeper, more compassionate way.